What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Modesty, and today I am going to be reacting to a video from Cruise, and they have, it's kind of like a debate, you know. They have Gen Zs, the younger generation, and then they have like the older generation. They're going to talk about respect. Is respect a right or it should be earned? And you know how these older people think about the younger generation. Okay, even my generation, we kind of have some thoughts when it comes to the Gen Zs. You know, the older generation, they're kind of like the Gen Zs don't respect. They are too like rowdy. They are too self-centered, that kind of thing. So yes, I am going to react into that.
What an elder sees sitting down, a young man can't see standing on an iroko tree.
There's no youth, except that youth wants to be playing with fire, that should argue this statement that what an elder sees, they will never see.
So I feel like that adage talks more about experience. Because of how much years you've spent on earth, there are things that you've experienced firsthand that we still theorize. But because, you know, experience is the best teacher. If it teaches you once, you know, that is the lesson is constant. If you try it 10 times, you're going to come back to the same conclusion. Who has more experience better than the people that are older than us? So I totally agree with that submission.
That thing the elder is seeing sitting down, we will use drone and helicopter to see that same thing. Because I truly believe experience does not come with age. Anybody can have experience if you make action, you take moves. And I also believe experience goes both ways. Like can also be reversed. The elders can also learn from us. We can also teach you things. So I don't feel you should let your age make you arrogant. Humble enough to learn from us too. So
what do you want to teach us?
Hold on. We can teach you anything, mommy. We teach you
okay, so let me take you up on that.
Give me 3 things.
Hold on.
No, let them give me 3 things.
No, let them do their talking.
Come on.
That's one of the examples of the arrogance of the older generations. They talk about respect so much, but they actually don't practice what they preach. Because why would you tell me I can't teach you anything? I feel respect should go both ways.
Yes, like when you see an older person, and when I talk about older person, I'm not talking about somebody who's like a millennial, no, but like a boomer, our parents. When it comes to them, and then we see them talking to kids, they feel like there is nothing that they can learn from the kid or from the young person. And so why should I, you know, stand there and then listen to you? And then yes, this thing about what an adult sees sitting down, a younger person will never see, even if he or she stands on a tree or on the tallest building. That is like experience, as they are saying. There are some things that an older person, some experiences that an older person hasn't been through, hasn't felt, but then a younger person has. And this, I always say, yes, I might be older, but there are a lot of things that I haven't experienced before. So if I am in a discussion, somebody who is way younger than me, I don't feel like this person knows much more than I do. I also don't feel like I know much more as this person does, because as I said, there are some things I have never experienced them.
You said that we shouldn't get arrogant, and that what we see, you use drone or whatever. So why didn't you use drone to ask your mommy or your daddy that, oh, there's this thing that I'm going through, what do you think? Do you understand?
That still applies to what I'm saying. I'm humble enough to ask my mother, my father for some certain topics of life. And
why?
I believe,
why?
Because I believe they truly have the experience.
Do they?
And I believe I also have experience that they don't have.
We're not talking about we're not talking about your experience. With what an elder sees, right? So you believe that there's something they know ahead, or they've experienced ahead. And so you humble yourself, you creep to them and say, hey daddy, blah, blah, blah. And they advise you. Why?
Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that it goes both ways.
Did we argue that we can't learn from you? I beautifully said, you're so brilliant, you're so smart, but there are 1 or 2 things that are not right. I'm not going to stand here and be battling words with you. If there's an obvious problem, there is a problem. So for you to go to your parents, your mommy and daddy, and ask them on a topic that your drone couldn't answer you.
It seems like whenever the older generation wants to speak to a younger person, the default, 70% of the time, default is condescension. You don't really know anything, so let me just help you along.
I said
the percentage. You guys have structures that you have already done. The experiences you have had are invaluable, okay? But if you are coming to me as, I know a lot more than you. Of course you know a lot more than me. You are older than me. That makes sense. Why are you making me feel like I'm stupid?
Respect, as demanded by the older generation, is overdone.
Enough respect before common sense. You can't tell me somebody is doing something that is like someone driving a car. You know where this person is passing will cause accidents, and because he's older than you, you will tell him, it's okay, sir, keep going, so that two of you will die together. Is that sense? Is that sensible? Obviously not. If we know this person is actually leading us to hellfire, collect the steering wheel. Whether force or fire, not going to go for anybody. Collect that steering wheel. So forget respect. Respect comes with experience and sense. Let respect also come with sense, not just culture.
So also what boomers, older people often call respect is not really respect, it's just blind adoration. I respect you means I value your opinions, and I will take your opinions and put them into consideration. Not just you say jump and I say how high. If you say jump and I say how high, that's a cult. That's township. That's not respect. It's not me. It's me just blindly following whatever the hell you say. Somebody asks you to do something and you say, oh, okay, but why? Or isn't it better if you do it some way? Like, oh, you're being disrespectful. I just asked you a question. How am I being disrespectful? That's a hypothetical situation, but it's something that's happened constantly over the time.
As much as we feel like respect.
She's right. Like if an older person, even me, if another person says something and then I kind of ask a question regarding what the person has said, say like let me just use jump, and I ask why, and then they just get mad for me asking why I should jump. Fine, maybe there's something they're like, do before complain. If you say jump, you just jump.
You should go both ways. You should be able to talk to me as well as I should be able to talk to you. They have a thing with tones, right? They have a thing with approach. They have a thing with how do you talk to me? It doesn't take away the space of respect. Yeah, I'll give you respect, honestly, but the moment you start to make me feel like I probably need to be carrying you on my head, or maybe say I probably need to give you the same respect that I give, maybe say God, then maybe say there's a problem.
It's like I said, the condescension, they come to you with most times it comes to you with a place of, oh yeah, I'm saying this and therefore it must be right. It might be right, right? But is it really that right?
Respect is a right. If you yourself will grow to become old, you need to respect an elder. You see, they are right, just as you have individual rights today. Please, because that person you're giving respect has also given respect to the elderly ones, the ones before him. Now it is his turn. And at this particular turn of his turn, you say you are not going to respect that person. Well?
No. I disagree with the man here. It's not because it is my turn, so you should respect me. It's because I am giving you the respect as a human. So you have to give me that same respect that I am giving you. If you are being rude to me, I don't care whether you are an old person, whether you can be my grandparents, my grandfather, or whether you are as young as my niece, my nephew. If you are rude to me, that's it. I am not being friendly towards you. Because I can see that no matter how friendly or how respectful I will be towards this person is going to show me that same respect. This person is going to be rude to me. So why should I associate myself with somebody who doesn't respect me? I believe respect is hand go hand come. You respect me, I respect you. It shouldn't matter the age.
It's you and God that when we talk to you, you do not hear. You know you are disrespect.
Let me just chip this in. As I said, it shouldn't matter the age that you respect somebody. I think that the first thing that you have to do when you meet somebody, the first thing that you have to do as a human is to show the person respect. That is the first thing. So if you do that and then you realize that the person isn't giving you that same respect, then when I saw farm dream.
But because we know we are not going to lead you astray.
It just becomes a right. Just respect them, learn to walk. And that's why I said, you guys need to calm. Just learn to walk away. See them as grown babies and deal with them that way.
I don't believe
I don't want to believe this
is
word.
right. I believe respect is earned. You don't be entitled to respect of any kid.
Okay, don't push it too far. Don't push it too far. Just hold on. Just hold on.
Every human being has a basic level of respect, actually. No matter who you are, as long as I'm a human being, I believe you should be entitled to some form of respect. True, but there's a certain level of respect you should not be asking for when you've not earned it. So just because you're old or just because you've grown up, that does not necessarily mitigate you get that respect from you. You shouldn't actually be entitled to it at the same time. So
I don't think respect is an issue of demand, is a norm. Simply because whether you like it or not, you were brought into the world by these elders. And it's just a problem that people are feeling rebellious. You don't want to be talked to.
No, and you see, we are not disputing. I mean, let me just use me as an example, or like the younger generation. We are not disputing the fact that elders should be shown the necessary respect. Yeah. But then the fact that this elder doesn't give you that ounce of respect, hey, I meet you, first thing I do, I show you respect. But then you continue to disrespect me, continue to be rude to me, continue to insult me. Why should I keep showing that respect? Should I be saying, yes sir, yes sir, when you start to disrespect me? Hell no.
You don't want to be shouted out. No. Remember now, these things vary. You find in a certain circle, there's a mutual understanding between an elder. So what if, I'm not saying her, what if she came from, she's now an elder, but what if she grew up when she was like you, from an abusive elder, and all she knew all her life till she grew up was shout, but she'll pass it. That's where you people need to be smarter. And stop fight, don't fight the system. You can't win that way. That's why we'll always be clashing. One person needs to get wiser. There's all this it's not going to take you guys anywhere. Your elders are your elders, just deal with it.
I join my elders to say respect is a right. We have some people within the Western culture here, if they want to greet their elder one, they prostrate. Is he a god?
Oh, your father
When
will
you prostrate for him, that is the culture. So it's a right. He is my elder. I can't just walk past him because I'm a Gen Z.
have you heard of that recent governor that was arraigned for embezzlement and everything? So we like to see that man in real life and I'll prostrate.
Yes.
A man that stole from.
Yes.
I will still prostrate to
You're not
him.
the one to
You're
judge.
not the one to judge
have
him.
no right
Stole
to
from us.
You have
What
no
you're
right
supposed to
to
do
was corrupt,
is to
and
go
I'll
back
still
and
prostrate.
tweet like I told you and
You
know
have
how
no-
you
why-
come,
okay, so
how
he
you
stole
take
and
away
everything. You want to
leadership
judge him?
from
What if
his
he
hands.
kills? Should I still prostrate for
You
him?
understand?
What
What if he kills?
why do
Are
I
you
say
not-
People
that?
just
you
go
are
and
not
sit
in that
down and be
position. You are
complaining.
not in that
Not in that
position.
I should still prostrate.
Yes.
Even if
Why
he
will
kills.
Yes.
So no, hold on. So when you see him, you want to say, yo, you.
I will
You
knock
fight
his head.
him. Knock his
Really?
head.
Modesty and morality are losing its values among the younger generation.
In the earlier days, all our activities is based on positive moral. We think of what they would say about our family. But in this era, when someone is doing something, it does it in its own way. Like, for example, when we dress in our days, every part of our body is covered up. But this modern society, some of them doesn't even care if they are half naked or not.
We're somewhere and a girl walked past us half naked. And one woman called her and said, could you adjust your skirt a bit? Let it just come down a bit because everything was showing. And when she turned back, he said, how does it concern you? She even pulled it up higher.
Somehow agree with the elders on this, because now I see us young generation, and then I'm like, wait, see the things that we wear, like, come on. And I'm like, wait, when this person walked out of the house, wasn't there any parents, wasn't there any adult in the house who could like tell her that, where are you going? Or like, go change? Because I remember I was going to the hospital some time ago, and then I wore this sleeveless, it had this string here. The weather was so hot, the weather was really hot, so I wore it, and then I went to my dad was like, I should go put something on. I wasn't naked, not like my boobs were showing, not like my back was showing, my waist was showing. There was nothing like that. It was just sleeveless, okay, not completely. Had a string here attached to the dress. My dad was like, I should go change. I thought of, see, my dad was inside, so I was like, fine, I'll go change. But then I didn't go change. And then when I stepped out of the room, my mom was sitting outside, and then she was like, oh, Kwani, where are you going? Then she told me to go change. So when I see people my age, people younger than me, and then I see them in certain attires in public, I get confused.
Aspect I'm looking at is some parents are not really standing their ground, and that is why some of these young ones are going off. Because my Bible tells me that if you train a child the way he should go, when he grows up, he will not depart from it. Parents have a very big role to play. If you've done yours, God will take control.
I feel like the Gen Zs have this unnecessary need to rebel. They just want to rebel against everything, every laid down rules, even our dress sense, you know. We're becoming more fashionable according to what we think, right? Feel like more skin means more freedom. Like they say, our body, our choice. We departing from the laid down values that our fathers laid down for us is not a form of mental slavery. It's getting so much out of hand that if we don't curb it at this point, we might not have a next generation.
As brilliant and smart as this generation are, I think it comes down to an end time era. I'm not trying to be too spiritual, but that's the strategy of the enemy to take out the youth. There's so much skin going about. There's so much rudeness. As brilliant and as smart, and I keep repeating, they're crazily creative.
Well, not to be spiritual as she said, but I feel like every generation is an end time. I'm sure their generation, it was the end time era. The generation after them, the end time era. My generation, the end time era. And the younger generation, the end time era.
What people term morality these days is really just now who them catch outside the thief, right? It's not like all these things did not exist before. These things have been there. Did anybody know fellas dancers in the 70s? By any and all standards, they had raunchy dresses, right? Dressing to ascribe how moral a person is really speaks to your own projection as opposed to that person, because you are the one seeing the person. You're thinking, oh, this person must have a less than stellar character because they are portraying themselves a certain way.
Modesty and morality. I feel the definition changes with time and with generations. Like my mommy over here now, you wearing a trouser, if you check back previous generations, a woman wearing trouser is actually seen as a bad thing or a masculine man thing. But now, your generation made it a normal thing and made it the norm. So I feel change has to come from someone. It has to come from one generation. And I feel change is not a bad thing. Just because we might act a certain way or dress a certain way doesn't necessarily make us bad people.
I can't speak for the older generation. I cannot speak for them because I don't know the things that was, fashionable or the things that were trendy in their era. But then in our era, I don't think that being, how do I put it, like underdressed, if that is the right word for me to use, like walking out in public with, barely something on should be normalized. No, I don't care how fashionable that is or how trendy it is. It shouldn't be normalized at all. I'm sorry.
Expect changes and we accept changes. And even as the changes come, we still expect modesty as we embrace change. Yes, in the olden days, women don't wear trousers. But now, because of the change, which we all embrace, because we all believe that, okay, in the olden days, we don't even have television to watch. Now, everybody watches television. Because of that change, that still does not stop us from being modest. Like the trousers I'm putting on, I can see the way I put it on. Nothing stopped me from maybe making everything revealing.
I want to correct one impression about this trouser. These trousers, they are not new. Since Oyibo man came into this country, they brought in trouser. But when they brought in trouser, there was sort of trouser they brought. Doesn't expose every part of your body.
The one we call palazzo now.
Even the engineers we have in Nigeria, those days, they don't wear skirt to go to under engine. They wear trousers, they wear jeans. But those jeans are not this kind of jeans that somebody will cut jeans and tear some.
Hello, I'm so sorry, but then the Oyibo who brought that sort of trouser, that sort of jeans, is that same Oyibo bringing these sets of trousers or these trendy trousers?
It's as if the dog attacked the person or Bukalayon attacked the person. So that is that moderation we are talking of. Even the white men themselves, we are trying to copy them. They dress well, but it's only they pick these negative ones from the musicians because they want to sell themselves. They want to make money from fans.
Boomers would act as the current Gen Z if they were born in this time.
A lot of the factors that influence how we behave is really external factors, and some of them even come from they themselves. The way we dress, the way we talk, the way we behave. Obviously, it's how where we're born, the timeline we're born. So.
Yes, 100% I do agree with this prompt because every era, every generation and what they bring. In this generation, this is what has been brought up. This is what is there. In their generation, they had something. I'm very sure. As I said previously, I can't talk for them, but I believe that in their generation, they had. It might not necessarily be the same thing as now. Maybe some things have changed, some terminologies have changed, but yeah, they had something in their generation which to them, like to say to their the people who were older than them, they thought of them the same way they think of us now. So yeah, every era, every generation and what they bring up. You see these people saying, the older generation saying this generation is this and that, this generation is that and this. I do believe that in the next generation, that is, say, like we have kids, our kids' generation are going to be different too. And people are still going to have problem with their generation, with their generation, yeah.
So I believe they'll actually behave like us.
Every generation thinks the one after them is arrogant, willful, rebellious, and it's simply just breaking out of what was considered societal norms. Every single generation, you ask Gen X, they'll say, oh, boomers are so disrespectful. You ask boomers, Gen Z, millennials are so disrespectful. Ask millennials, oh, Gen Z are so disrespectful. It's literally just, it's circle of life. It's not like it's going to change anything. Take the same set of people in a boomer generation, put them in Gen Z, give them the same exact timeline, the same every external factor that Gen Zs have been influenced by, and give it to boomers, and then watch them become the new Gen Z.
The Bible or the Quran that you read is there as a standard. None of us here would say he doesn't go to church or he doesn't go to the mosque, or you're not a traditionalist. Even the traditionalists we're talking about, they have morals standing. You understand? So the Quran, the Bible is there as a standard. Then your parents are your role models, especially when you have the good ones. So I wouldn't be carried away. I wouldn't allow the wave of trend to carry me. No, I wouldn't want to bring shame to my family.
Have you heard of some civilizations in the Amazon forest that kill human beings, cannibals? Do you think those guys, they form their standard with the Bible? There's no Bible for them. There's no Quran for them. Nothing. But they kill human beings.
That's what they know.
That's what they know.
That's what they know, right?
are you going to say, are you going to call them bad, or are you going to say they should behave like you?
They are bad.
Would you call? Hold on. Would you
We are
call
talking
them good?
about where we're living now.
Would you
In
call
this
them
nation,
good?
Nigeria.
human
We're not
beings.
talking about the forest now.
I feel like you're taking this like
No, would
personally.
you expect those cannibals to behave like you?
Just hold on.
Are you now a carnivore?
No,
That's the
no,
problem the
no.
Gen Zs have. They think they have brain.
No, they
Let-
do.
let's
No,
take
we
this
meet
easy.
all of you
Hello.
on our daily activities.
They
Hello,
do.
please.
Either in the
Me,
house
I'm not going to take
or
it
at
from
work.
them. They do.
And we always
This is exactly what the youth are saying. This is exactly what the younger generations they are saying. The moment they start questioning, and then y'all behave this way, then you, the older ones, you behave this way. Like they don't have brain, they don't have the sense to question you this way, which is what this whole debate, this whole from the beginning till now is all about. The moment they talk, then you have a problem. The moment they ask a question, then you are, how do I put it? Then you are mad that they're asking a question. That's the whole problem now.
iron it
Just
out.
a bit
They know.
misguided.
Let me say this, please. There's this saying that two wrongs.
Don't make
Can
it.
never make it right. You guys should
You understand?
humble yourself.
So,
for your parents to bring
if my
you up.
daddy made a mistake, and I'm seeing it that, oh, daddy has made a mistake, I will equally join daddy to make mistake, or I will even create a better mistake than daddy. I'm not making myself a son.
Point.
So now, the older generation they had a problem, and you are seeing the problem, and you want to escalate the problem, then we are not solving anything. The smartness and all what we have as Gen Z, we are not using it to do anything. We are using it the other way around.
Again, the moment they use the smartness, the brains, the knowledge, and then the intelligence that they have to do something, then you all get mad that they are doing something about it. You all get angry that they are questioning you guys on something. Now, how are you going to solve a problem if you don't question? That's the thing. If you don't question people in general on what the problem is, on how the problem came, on how are you going to solve the problem? And you are all sitting there saying that they should be intelligent enough to solve the problems before them. They should be wise enough to, be able to talk to the older people to solve a problem. Now they get wise enough, and then they start talking to you, the older people, and then you guys begin to shut us down, saying that we don't respect you because we are. The whole thing about the older generation and then the younger generation is question. The moment the younger generation starts to question, then there is a problem. Okay, so yes, this was a very not so all over the place debate, or conversation, but throughout the whole video, I felt like the older generation, they're like, anytime that the Gen Zs were talking, they're like, wait, calm down. Okay, we are older. We know what you're saying. That is what I felt throughout the whole video. But I like the fact that they all gave chances to them. Like when somebody's talking, the other person has to, if you have anything to say, wait for the person to finish up, not just intruding in on what somebody is saying. Everybody deserves respect, but don't be like you are elderly, so you have to disrespect somebody who is younger than you. That shouldn't be the case. That should, cause the way I was brought up not to disrespect an elder. So if I meet you and then you start disrespecting me, I'm not going to disrespect you, but then I am going to leave that space that you are in. So if that space that you are in and then I leave makes you feel like I have disrespected you, I really don't care. Cause for me not to really be rude to you, cause I respect you as an elder, for me not to be rude to you because you are being rude to me, I'm just going to leave there. Anyway, this is it. Let me know what you all think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and also leave a comment. Very, very important. And if you have nothing to say, just say hi.